Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, heard it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions in the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, heard it easy. You don't wanna be. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check is I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, heard it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. What up, Fin fans? How are you all doing this morning? Thanks for stopping in. Make sure you hit that like button on your way in the door. I'm your host, Big C. This is another episode of the Fin Posse Podcast brought to you by Game Changers Media. How's everybody doing this morning? What up, Shake? What up? What up? Shake Money, y'all. Thanks for having me on the show last night. It was an interesting time. Definitely an interesting time, good time. Make sure you guys check out Shake Money's Smoke Lounge episode last night. Check out his channel. Yeah, I was on the Smoke Lounge last night, and we were discussing the state of the Dolphins, and we were discussing about what changes need to be made to this football team to make them successful, to make them a contender, to put them in the same conversation as the Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Baltimore Ravens, teams that are consistently at the top of the league. Damien, I heard TD say the Dolphins will sign Cousins. Listen, sometimes people say things that sometimes people listen. I'm not gonna say nothing bad about my boy TD. I got a great relationship with TD. If TD believes that, then TD can believe that. I personally do not see that happening. I don't see a scenario where that happens. Kirk Cousins right now is still under contract, a large contract with the Atlanta Falcons. I don't see us wasting that type of revenue on Kirk Cousins, especially after the year he had last year. TD saying Aaron Rodgers still. I mean, listen, in Chris Greer's exit interview, he did throw some shade at Tua for Tua's availability, his ability to stay available. So, I mean, like I've been saying, and I'll say it over and over and over, Chris Greer is liable to do anything. He is liable to do anything. When someone's back is against the wall and it's survive or else, you're liable to do anything. Good morning, Raphael. How you doing this morning? You're liable to do anything. So, I mean, could Kirk Cousins be be here next year? Yeah, it could happen. It could. Could Aaron Rodgers be here next year? Yeah, it could happen. Anything could happen. Just because, you can't go by what's sensible. If this wasn't a make or break season for Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, you'd be like, no way, no way that could possibly happen just because of the way contracts are situated right now, because of the amount of cap space we have. But because this is a season that can mean it's do or die, anything is literally possible. Just like with the draft. If this was year one of Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel, I'm sure we enter this year's draft with a completely different mindset. We have a different way we go about things. I'm sure that we would address free agency differently. I'm sure that we'd address the cap differently. So, again, anything is possible. We could go into free agency with minimal cap space, or we could go in the free agency with $80 million in cap space. It's all about how reckless Chris Greer wants to become with this franchise. Damien says, I saw our best fits for our defense are the safety from the 49ers and the cornerback from the Chargers. Yeah, I mean, again, you're gonna see everybody plugged everywhere. I mean, it's this time of year where things are a little bit slow and nothing but time on people's hands, and people got to come up with different content to keep people coming in. This is a very difficult time for content creators. I struggle daily to try to think of something fresh that we can talk about. I mean, lots of times it ends up and leads back to the exact same spot. How many times can I say that we're going to sign guards in free agency and go this position in the draft? Or how many, I mean, it's just, it is a rough time. It is a rough time. And there is so many different scenarios that could play themselves out. See you Howland, he wants $20 million per year. Yeah, he can go get that somewhere else. He can go get that somewhere else, because there's no way that I feel, again, I would not throw Javon Holland anywhere near $20 million a year. Again, Chris Greer, who knows what Chris Greer is going to do? We've seen Chris Greer make some head scratching maneuvers in his time here. Now, it wouldn't surprise me that Chris Greer goes out and gives Javon Holland $20 million a year. We've seen how Chris Greer shows favoritism towards players he's drafted just because he doesn't want to admit failure. He has kept players here far too long when they shouldn't have been, just because he's drafted them, and he does not like to admit when he is wrong. He does not like to cut his losses when he is wrong and say, hey, this didn't end up working out, let's move on. And it's evident by the fact that Channing Tindall's still on this team. It's evident by the fact that Eazy-E's still on this team. It's evident by the fact that Eichenberg was still starting and he felt confident with that. And we didn't address the offensive line for years. He does not like to admit that he is wrong. The fact that he went out and gave Tua the large contract a year early. So, as far as Kirk Cousins, Aaron Rodgers, I don't see it. I think it would not be smart for us to do that. I think our money is better spent somewhere else. I think we can bring in a quarterback that is far more affordable, that can fill in for if Tua and when Tua gets injured. But, we shall see. Again, I think that Mac Jones would be a good fit at the backup quarterback position. I think Mac Jones does a lot of the same things that Tua Tagovailoa does, and I think it'd be an easy transition. And people have their opinions on Mac Jones, but Mac Jones is an accurate quarterback. He can get the ball out quickly. I'm not saying that Mac Jones is this, is Kirk Cousins and Aaron Rodgers the better quarterback over Mac Jones? Absolutely. I just think that Mac Jones fits the system very nicely. And we've seen that Mike McDaniel struggles to change scheme to fit the player that's behind center. It's like, well, this is the game plan for Tua, and that's what we stick to no matter who's back there. So the answer to the question is putting a quarterback back there that's as similar to Tua as possible. If I was the GM for the Dolphins, I would have done what you did yesterday of the contract restructures. Listen, that's still very possible. He's going to create that cap space. It just hasn't happened yet. It's going to happen, though. He's going to go in and make money. He's not going to go in the free agency with nothing available to him. He knows that he needs to make moves. He knows he's got to improve this roster, because at the current moment, the roster's not good enough. Dolphins satisfied with Tua and Snoop. I can't see Dolphins bringing in quality backup quarterback due to so many holes on the roster. Listen, I don't think they're satisfied with that. I don't think they are. There are a lot of holes on this roster right now. We need 2 starting guards. We need 2 starting safeties. We need a defensive tackle. We need a starting corner. There are a lot of holes. But there's a lot of good players in this draft. There's a lot of players in free agency that we can go get at a decent value. And there's a lot of cap space that we can open up. Again, we can get as high as $80-90 million in cap space, depending on how much he wants to mess around with the salary cap, depending on how much he wants to put us in a financial stranglehold in the coming years. And again, I had mentioned I had mentioned last night, and I think I mentioned it yesterday, that the NFL, their contract, they have an out on their contract with NBC, CBS, and Fox at the end of the 2028 season, where there's going to be a bidding war for the afternoon slate of games. Netflix is involved. The salary cap after the 2028 season is going to go through the roof. Therefore, these GMs know that they can backload in contracts. They can add voided years, and by time they got to go and pay that, the salary cap could be as high as $400 million. And if you're Chris Greer, you're not concerned with what Miami's financial situation is 3-4 years from now, because chances are you're not going to be here. So chances are you're not going to be here. So we can do a hockey type of contract. Listen, there's usually, typically in the NFL, you've been seeing 2, 3, 4-year contracts. I think that you're going to start seeing longer contracts, just because they know once they get to that, after that 2028 season, that money is, the contracts become a lot less valuable. The contracts become a lot less valuable. And like, if you sign a 3-year deal, you can renegotiate it and turn it into a 6-year deal and have voided years. Where are we paying a player that is no longer on this team? Yeah. But the salary cap's going to be so increased that it's not going to matter. I mean, the salary cap is a tricky thing. It's a very hard thing to understand. Because there's so many loopholes. There are so many loopholes in the NFL salary cap. It's not like it's straight up. It's not like you have this amount of money to spend and that's all you have. No. Because I can borrow from next week's paycheck. I can pay you a little bit for what you're giving me today and pay you later on. It's just, oh, well, this is cash. We're going to turn that to credit and I get to keep my cash and spend it somewhere else. It's just a very, very difficult thing to get a full grasp on, just because there are so many loopholes in the NFL with the salary cap. It'd be so much easier if it was just, hey, you got $250 million to spend a year. You spend it and then you move on. But no, it's not like that. And out of all our draft picks from last year that didn't get playing time, who do you think will have the biggest contributor? Jeez, I can't even think of all the draft picks offhand right now. Miami Dolphins 2024 draft class. I mean, Patrick Paul depends on what we do with Armstead. Jalen Wright's going to definitely see some more playing time. I mean, Patrick McMorris could see some more playing time. I mean, Malik Washington was already a starter by the end of the year. Chop Robinson's a starter. So, I mean, most Kamara, Taj Washington, I don't see overly. I mean, I think he was more of a special teams player, probably. I mean, he doesn't fit the mold that Chris Greer typically likes in a wide receiver. He's not overly big. He's not overly fast. He's not, you know what I mean? Mo Camara, I mean, he performed all right when he got his few opportunities. So I mean, it definitely depends. It depends on if they throw Jalen Phillips right back into it full throttle. It depends if Bradley Chubb's back. How much we see Mo Camara. It depends on how much he improves in practice. So there's a lot of factors. There's a lot of factors that go into this. I mean, but for the most part, most of our guys got playing time last year. We used a lot of our play. We used a lot of the players in our draft last year. So when I obviously you guys can see shakes in the comments. Last night I was on the smoke lounge. We had discussed where we should go in the first round of the draft, and there's a big consensus of trading back a little bit. Then there was some people that wanted to trade 3 first rounds and move up and try to get Cam Ward. The biggest consensus I got from the guys last night is that there's no way that they would go offensive line in the first round. And I also got from the guys last night that they didn't feel that the offensive line was as big an issue as that I think that it is. So I'm curious in today's chat, like I feel the offensive line is a huge problem. I really do. I feel like the offensive line is a monster problem. They suggested almost to the point that, and it wasn't really shake, but others suggested that the offensive line wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Scotty says the salary cap isn't the real determining factor. It's cash over cap. That's what separates the truly wealthy owners from each other. Yeah, Scotty's right on that. But there's just so many different ways to create space. O-line is the biggest issue. That's how I feel. I feel like the O-line is the biggest issue. And I'm not saying that we have to go O-line in the first round. Obviously, in my mock draft yesterday, I didn't go O-line to the 4th round. And I caught a lot of grief for it. And I'm not saying that we should wait till the 4th round. The draft played out how it played out for me. I think we should draft higher than the 4th round. We should get an offensive lineman. But I wouldn't sit there and try to pretend that our offensive line is not a cause to a lot of our problems. I feel like that offensive line caused us great issues last year. And they're saying, well, we won. One of the arguments was we had a great rushing attack in 2023, and we ended up losing in the first round of the playoffs. And we did. We ended up getting matched up with the Kansas City Chiefs in one of the coldest games in NFL history, and they beat us. Forget that playoff game though. We lost that lead to the Buffalo Bills, and I hate to use excuses, but we were so injured going into those final 4 games of the season. And I know all teams deal with injuries, they do. But we were beyond what normal injuries are for a team. We had so many of our stars out or banged up that you couldn't overcome it. You just couldn't overcome it. We had Xavier Howard out. Javon Holland was hurt. Both our pass rushers were out. Ginkle was out. Van Ginkle was out. Like, we had no pass rushers. Everybody was hurt on as far as someone that could get after the quarterback. Tyreek was beat up. We just so many injuries, you just couldn't overcome it. That's why we lost that division lead. That's why we were knocked out by the Kansas City Chiefs in the first round. I mean, it is what it is. But that doesn't mean that the offensive line is not a problem. If we fix this offensive line, Achane's going to have a big year. And if Achane has a big year, the passing game is going to have a big year too, because the defense is going to have to respect the run, and they're going to creep up. And once they start creeping up, that's when we take the top off them defenses. Raphael says O line, wide receiver, defensive tackle, safety, free safety, cornerback. We still need wide receiver 3. Excited for Mac Jones. The team is trying to be like Tua, 1 out of 5 years healthy. Dude, Raphael, you're crazy, boy. Eagles won the Super Bowl partly because they were the healthiest team. Yeah, and they were the best in the trenches. The Philadelphia Eagles were the best in the trenches on both sides. Between their defensive line, who could rush Patrick Mahomes and get pressure on him and cause havoc with only 4 rushers, and the fact that they were able to run the ball the way they were. Dalton signed the contract with the Panthers. I would have definitely offered him. Yeah, I seen that he did that. We need Mafar or ETN in the draft. I forget what the kid's name that I drafted in the mock draft, but they act like he was dominant in short yardage situations, and that's what we truly need. The top 11 O-line teams made the playoffs, and Miami don't value the O-line. They draft an injured pocket quarterback and refuse to give him a pocket. Miami's goal is to entertainment, not winning. But their excuse is that we get the ball out in 2.5 seconds. But then they get mad because Tua doesn't go through progressions. Well, Tua doesn't have the opportunity to go through progressions. Tua knows that if he don't have that ball out his hands immediately, bad things are going to happen. Eagles didn't even blitz. You're right, Raphael. They didn't. 2-year deal for Dalton. That's the craziest stat ever. What about defensive tackle from Ole Miss at Big C? That's who I took in the first round. That's who I took in the first round of the mock draft yesterday. Nolan, right? That's who I had traded back a little bit and took Nolan. I had traded back a little bit and took Nolan. Shoot, we ain't gotten. Listen, this is Freestyle Friday. I'll pop a mock draft up right now. Hold on. Let's see. See. So many damn pop-ups, so it irritates the shit out of me. Let's share. My thumbnail's not gonna match what we're actually doing though. So, clickbait. Enter draft. Start draft. Carter goes number 1. Cam Ward number 2. Travis Hunter 3. I already don't like how this draft is playing out. Mason Graham to the Jags. Shador to the Raiders. I could see it. McMillan to the Jets. Michael Williams to the Panthers. Shamir Stewart. Gilman Banks. Will Campbell. Gentry. So the Bills want us to trade back. I'm not doing that because there's a lot of future trades, future picks that don't help us this year. And that eliminates it. The Broncos want us to move back to 20 and give us the second round pick. And the Packers want us to move back to no. I mean, I wouldn't necessarily say no to that. How you guys feel about moving back to the 20th pick and picking up an extra second? Move the 20, absolutely. Anybody else get input? Going once, going twice. We're going to move back. And they're giving us offensive tackle Mike McGlonkley. I didn't see that. So they're giving us offensive lineman too. I didn't see that they were giving us offensive lineman too. No, we're not taking that. No. No. All right, so this is who's available. All prospects. We got Ty Warren, Nolan, Emma Worry, Kenneth Grant. Let's take a look. So quarterbacks, we got Jackson Dart is the top one available. These are top running backs. Let's be real. We're looking at offensive linemen. These are the top offensive linemen available. Top defensive linemen available. Top linebackers available. Top corners and safeties available. Who y'all think? Who y'all think we take? Melbourne. People are higher on Tyler Booker too. Is Memborn that much better than Tyler Booker? There goes Gray Zabel off. Bills get their wide receiver. There goes Walter Nolan. That sucks. Giants take Jalen Milroe in a second. Isaiah Bond. There goes Tyler Booker. That's the Bears in the second. Oh man, comes our players off the board. Nick Emlin, damn, both safeties back to back. All right, so we got these are the offensive linemen, defensive line, edge, linebackers, defensive backs. What y'all thinking? Where we go? Exceptional play recognition, nasty closing burst to the football, shows serious dog and coverage situations, advanced mental processing, violent hands at the point of attack, elite ball skills, versatile defensive weapon, special teams ace. What's everybody say? Scotty says Watts. Anybody else? Anybody else got an opinion? When's our next pick? All right. Is linebacker from South Carolina still available? Demetrius Knight. We can take a look. Yep, he's right there. So what should we do? Watts or Knight? Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Walker. I think I'm gonna go Walker with the next pick. See, linebackers not really a need, so I feel like we should go with Watts just because it fills a need. Deont Walker. How you feeling? It's going so far. Jackson Dart still on the board. Dang, way down there. Mm. Mm-mm-mm. Mm. All right, we're back on the clock. These are defensive linemen, edge rushers, the linebackers, defensive backs, tight ends, offensive linemen, the wide receivers, running backs, and the quarterbacks. Where do we go? Oh, my fault. Yeah, my fault. My fault, Scotty. I do like Walker there, Deion Walker though. My fault. Yeah, Thor Griffin is usually available all the way into the 7th. Who you think we take here? I think the corner from Ohio State, Denzel Burke. Shows excellent ball skills, possesses a smooth back pedal with quick feet, demonstrates great quickness and burst when closing on ball, fluid hips and good lateral movement, displays strong play recognition and awareness in both run and pass situations, effective in pass coverage using length and physicality to disrupt routes early, combines length, speed, and agility, brings and demonstrates edge and willingness to support and run defense. Long speed, while decent is not elite, he will struggle against speedier pro receivers, especially in deep man coverage. Who who you guys like? Again, I'll go over them again real quick. So these are the quarterbacks, the running backs, the wide receivers, offensive linemen, the tight ends, the defensive linemen, the edges, the linebackers, and the defensive backs. Sylvian or Taylor? Sylvian or Taylor? Sylvian or Taylor? Oh, we'll go Mason Taylor. Jason Taylor's son. Is linebacker a true need for us, though? I mean, is linebacker a true need? I don't know if linebacker's as big a need as the defensive line or safety or corner. I mean, I thought I liked Burke too, but the speed thing gets me a little bit. You know what I mean? Back on the clock. Let's see. Let's see this corner. 6 foot 185. 4.56 speed. That's not very good. These corners aren't very fast. All right, so help me out, guys. These are the running backs available, wide receivers available, offensive line. Tight end. We just went defensive backs, linebackers, edge, defensive line. Where do we go? Mullings. Oh shit. Super athletic, produces excellent size, speed, displays above average body control, shows promise as a vertical threat, demonstrates reliable hands. All right. What the hell? Because all right, so we always find a diamond in the rough, and for a cornerback. So you guys agree on the wide receiver? Mm. All right, we're back on the clock. Quarterbacks, running backs, wide receivers, offensive linemen, defensive backs, linebackers, edge, D-line. Where do we go? Where we go, guys? All right, we'll add him, and then we'll call this draft finished. No reason to keep going through. No reason to keep going through. By the time you get to the later rounds, it's well, we can say we took Scatabo, okay? It's all right. We can say we took Scatabo there since he was available. So with our first 5 picks, we took Membor, or however you say his name. We took Watts, we took Walker, Mason Taylor, and Scatabo. I don't think that's a bad haul. Obviously, it's all going to depend on what we do, and free agency is going to dictate what we do in the draft, obviously. But yeah, I mean, this was a little bit of a freestyle Friday. We were supposed to. I planned on doing an all-time Dolphins team where we put the best Dolphins roster together. I want to. On days that we just are having fun or doing a little bit of talking, I want someone to come on and I can share the link. And well, we can say we got Jalen Walker. That was my fault, but Jalen Walker was available. We can say we got him. But I had clicked on Deion Walker, the defensive tackle. But yeah, one day I'd like someone to come on and yeah, I do an open panel. Listen, I put usually sometimes I forget, but usually I'll put the link to stop in. And all you got to do is click on that and it'll bring you backstage. Yeah, we could definitely do some talking. But I want to do an all-time NFL draft where we just go back and forth, of all the players in NFL history, just for fun. You know what I mean? And you can pick anybody you want to put the best team together and see who can put the very best team together. I'm talking about Barry Sanders. I'm talking about Marino, Jerry Rice, Bruce Smith, Lawrence Taylor, Reggie White. I think that'd be a good time. Also, what do you guys think about Deebo Samuel is having issues in San Francisco, is asking for a trade. Obviously, a natural fit would be with the Miami Dolphins because his relationship with Mike McDaniel. Do you guys see that as a possibility? Obviously, we're not going to bring him in on the amount of money that he's making. I wouldn't. He's slowed down. He's not a fast receiver. He's just a big bruising guy, a big physical guy that you can use in a bunch of different. You can use him in a bunch of different ways. Would you be interested in bringing Debo in? I mean, I feel like if the price is right, we could maybe do something with him, but I wouldn't go nothing outrageous. I wouldn't go nothing outrageous. But I think he's more capable to get us 1 or 2 yards on short rushing situations than the current backs we have. Yeah, I mean, it'd have to be at the right price. Nothing crazy. Nothing crazy. Definitely nothing crazy. I just hope that we address the offensive line and the defensive line between the draft and free agency. I hope we make major improvements in those two areas. And to be honest, if we make major improvements in those two areas and we can find us a starting corner and two decent safeties, I think this team will be okay. Because let's be honest, we got bad safety play last year, so I feel like anything we put back there as safety is going to be an upgrade. Um, but we do need to find a very good corner. And if we address the offensive line and the defensive line, I feel like this team is capable of winning a playoff game if Tua stays healthy. I feel like this team is capable. Again, we missed the playoffs by one game last year. One game. One game. So it's not like we're far away. And that's with our quarterback missing 6 games. So we're not far off, guys. We're not far off. If Chris Greer can make some very intelligent moves and bring in some playmakers, some guys that are dogs, I feel like we can make a run. Now, is it a run all the way to the Super Bowl? I don't know about that, but I feel like we can compete. We can possibly win a playoff game. We can get a home playoff game. And, once you get to that playoffs, anything can happen. Anything can happen. I've watched two terrible Giants teams win Super Bowls. The New York Giants, when they won their 2 Super Bowls against the mighty Patriots, they weren't very good teams. They barely made it to the playoffs. They were wild card teams making the playoffs with 9 wins. They weren't very good. So once you get to that playoffs, anything can happen, especially when you got explosive playmakers like we do. And if we address the trenches, I feel like this team can be much improved. Yeah, it is a big hit for San Francisco to cut them, but I mean, it sometimes it's worth cutting somebody so you don't have to deal with the problem. I don't know if everybody's seen. Richmond Webb is joining the show next week, next Tuesday, special time, 2 p.m. I'm pretty sure it was next Tuesday. So keep an eye out on that. I'm just very excited to have the future Hall of Famer, all time Miami Dolphin great Richmond Webb on the show. Uh, we're gonna ask him about the state of these Miami Dolphins, what he thinks needs what areas that he feels that this team needs to improve on, and you know, so I'm very excited to have Richmond Webb on. It's a great honor for me to talk to such a Miami Dolphin legend. So make sure you guys mark it on your calendar. Timothy, you saying you want to ask Mr. Webb a question? I only got him for about 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So, I mean, if you shoot the question out there, yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it. I mean, you can put them in the comments. He'll be able to see them. I mean, I'll try to, if he doesn't if he doesn't say anything about him, I'll look over in the comments and I'll ask your question. Where does Miles Garrett land? I don't know if they end up getting rid of him. They got a big asking price, and if someone doesn't match, give them what they're looking for, maybe I don't know if they move off him. They want multiple first round picks. They want multiple firsts. They don't have too many things that are valuable over in Cleveland, so they're not just going to give them away. They're not just going to give them away. I don't see Green Bay making the move for them. Just typically, Green Bay's not. They're not a team that goes out and gets the big flashy free agents. They're not. They're not the ones that make the big trades. Garrett will force his way out. Maybe, but they're not. Again, they're not going to give him away, no matter how much he cries and moans and begs. The Bucks could be interesting. I don't know. It's a lot of moving parts. It's a lot of moving parts, and that's a lot of draft capital to give up on for somebody. Even as someone as great as Myles Garrett, you got to feel like Myles Garrett is the missing piece to what you need to make a Super Bowl run. I think Myles Garrett. I think Washington would be a great spot for Myles Garrett. I think the Commanders would be a great. Reggie White was 40 years ago, bro. 30 years ago. Because they signed one free agent in the last 30 years. Raphael, you crazy. Albert Hainsworth, Cortez Kennedy. For who? Not Green Bay. Washington signed those, right? Yeah, I think the Commanders would be a good fit. The Commanders got to do something to keep pace with Philly. They definitely got to do something to keep pace with Philly. But we shall see. We shall see. That's the beauty of this time of year. You're going to hear lots of rumors, and maybe we don't find out all the way until draft day. I'm just curious to see what Chris Greer is going to do with his cap space. I'm curious to see how much of the future he's willing to mortgage to get the amount of cap space he wants. The Combine soon, right? When's the NFL Combine? Because that's when the rumors really start heating up, because you got all these GMs and owners up there together, and that's when they do a lot of their talking. That's when they do a lot of their talking. Also, I'm pretty sure we're doing an episode of the Dolphins Roundtable on Tuesday night. I think it'll be a lot of receivers on new teams next year. Yeah, there's definitely going to be a lot of moving parts this offseason. It's a very interesting offseason. I can't wait for it to really start getting going. So yeah, very exciting time. It's before you know it, things are going to really start taking off. Would you take Diggs for us? No, I wouldn't take Diggs. Listen, if Diggs is going to cry with a quarterback like Josh Allen, imagine what he's going to do with Tua. There's not enough balls in my pause. There's not enough balls in the backfield for the Miami Dolphins to make Diggs happy. I hope Ross told Greer he can't touch Tua Hill, Armstead, or Chubb's contracts. Listen, I'm all right with him touching. He's got to touch Armstead and Chubb's contracts. He's got to touch them. He's got to do something with them. We can't keep them. We can't keep both those guys here for the amount of money they're making. Something's got to happen with them. Does anyone see A. Carter go in number one? My prediction for number one pick. I could see it. I could see it. I don't think Tennessee loves either of these quarterbacks. I could see it. Post June cuts. He's got to do something before that. That's a way for him to make open up the salary cap first. We need that money now. Now he can designate them as post June 1st cuts, but I think we need both those guys back. Cam might go to the Jets. Yeah, listen, lots of things are possible. I think Tennessee loses tremendous value taking Carter at 1. Yeah, I think Tennessee's open for business. I think they would. There's been lots of rumors that the Jets might be trying to move up. I think Tennessee would like that. But if Tennessee moves back to 6, they're probably missing out on Carter. Because I think there's a good chance that Cleveland takes Carter. We do not need to touch Tua, Hill, Chubb, or Armstead's contract pre-June. I can get you $40 million right now without those 4. I think we need more than $40 million though, Scotty. And you got to remember, Chris, you're thinking rationally. You're thinking about what's best for this team in the future. Chris Greer's not concerned with that, brother. Now, maybe Stephen Ross steps in and says, "Hey, you can't touch these. I don't want you messing up the future." And you got to hope that he is. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way those contracts aren't getting touched. If Stephen Ross went directly to Chris Greer and said, "Hey, you can do whatever else you want, but don't do this. You can't do this, this, and this. Otherwise," I mean, that's the beauty of it. We're going to find out here I know it seems like forever, but here in a couple short weeks, we're going to find out exactly what's going to happen. I heard the asking price to move up to the number 1 pick is 3 first rounds, 3 second round, and a 3rd round pick. That's crazy. That's crazy. I mean, that's not what everybody goes by. This Jimmy Johnson chart, this point scale chart that he made up years ago. And I know it don't say that, but Tennessee can ask for whatever they want to ask for. It just determines if someone wants to give it. Now, I think that's absolutely a ridiculous asking price. There's no way in the world they're getting that, so they're tripping. Cam Ward's not a sure slam dunk prospect. We're not talking about Andrew Luck coming out. We're not talking, you know what I mean? Like, Andrew Luck was considered a generational talent. I've never heard anybody say that about Cam Ward. And they can ask for Breece Hall. I wouldn't be against the Jets trading Breece Hall. I think the Jets would be open to doing that. But we're gonna know in a short few weeks. As soon as when is the NFL Combine? When is the NFL Combine? Thursday, February 27th. You're going to start hearing a whole bunch of stuff. When does the NFL free agency period start? And then March 12th, free agency. So, I mean, in less than a month, we're going to know a whole lot. A beautiful thing. Beautiful, beautiful thing. Make sure you guys check out the Blitz tonight. Me and Mike will be on there. We might mess around with a little bit fantasy mock draft the type deal. An all-time draft like I was discussing. But yeah, make sure you stop through, talk. CB83 said something about doing a show maybe tonight. Maybe I'll stop in and chop it up with him. But I appreciate you all. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Again, share, subscribe. If you guys bring 5 people that subscribe to the channel, I'll put you in an auction to win this autographed Javon Holland jersey. I know that it's only Javon Holland, but hey, you know. Let me grab it. Have an opportunity to win this autographed Javon Holland jersey. It's a nice little jersey, the Orange Crush jersey, you know. Once we get to 1,000 subscribers, we'll do another drawing, and you see this jersey on the ball over here. I'll be giving that out along with $500 to a lucky subscriber. Actually, I might keep this one. I got an all white one that I think. Yeah, I got an all white one just like this, similar case that I'm going to be giving out, plus $500 when we hit 1,000 subscribers. So, yeah, let's try to build the channel. I appreciate you all. Thank you all for stopping in. Make sure y'all check out the Blitz tomorrow or tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern time. And I'll see you back here Monday morning. And hopefully we got some more news. And remember, Tuesday we got all-time great Richmond Webb coming in the building. And Tuesday night we got Dolphins roundtable with TD. Hopefully Doug's gonna be there. So yeah, make sure you stop in. I appreciate you all. Love y'all. Thank you so much. And we out. Let me know what you guys think of the new video. I got a new entrance video for the channel. Trying to see what you guys think. Hold on, let me see. I can get it on the. Let me know. I'm about to play it right now. Okay, let me know what you guys think. And I appreciate you all. Make sure you hit that like button. Peace.
Try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less. You check as I'm chess, what's happening next? Yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson. He got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just hold an obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill no discretion. Your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. try the chains, you can say no, free me.
So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurting.